Assalamu alaikum viewers, welcome back. Now I have to cover this decimals, okay? And this time I'll be, rather than going into the details, I'll directly be doing the decimals through the past paper questions, okay? If you go through all these questions that I have taken from the past papers, you can see that there are more questions on multiplication and division rather than addition and subtraction, okay? But I still have to tell you that how do we add or subtract the things which are in terms of decimals, okay? So I believe that you guys know that what are decimals. Anyhow, let me tell you briefly, decimals are basically like, the way you have the fractions like quarters, the fifths. Let me just track it down for you. For example, can you show this area to the viewers? Like this is 3 over 4, 5 over 7, this is 2 over 9. So these fractions are like, this is basically 3 quarters, this is 5 sevenths, this is 2 ninths, okay? Now there are some special fractions which have their denominator, which are basically taken out of tens, hundreds and thousands. So we call them decimal fractions. For example, there is 2 over 10, there is 3 over 100, there is 26 over 1000, there is 7 over 10, there is 29 over 100. So you see that all these denominators, these are in tens, okay? 10 tens are 100 and 100 tens are 1000. So these are basically written in red, these are all decimal fractions. And basing on the number of zeros over here, you can write this as 0.2, this is your 0.03, this is your 0.26, this is your 0.7, and this is your 0.29, okay? Now, so I have just told you very briefly about what are the decimal fractions. So now let me take you guys towards the addition of decimals, okay? Addition or subtraction. So since I have to tell you through these past paper questions, so there are two questions over here which are basically from the subtraction. So it's 10 minus 7.56. So we have to take out 7.56 from 10. You can see that there is no decimal. You can always use a decimal. You always put a decimal. This is 10, okay? And this is, I will have to write it as 0.00, okay? So whenever you have to add or subtract the decimals, these decimals have to be aligned. The decimal has to be under the decimal, okay? Now this is going to be 7.56. Now why do we have this condition that the decimal should be under the decimal? That is because these are the units, these are the tens, these are the tenths, these are the hundreds, okay? So when you are adding or subtracting, so we have to make sure that the hundreds are getting subtracted or added with the hundreds. The units are being summed up with the units. The tens are being summed up with the tens. So that is the condition that we keep the decimals aligned, okay? If there is no decimal point, like this was 10, so I have written as 10.00. So the rest is, you must know that how to subtract now this. You can't take 6 from 0, so you need to take a carry from this 0. This 0 has nothing with this will talk to this 0, this will talk to this 1. So this 1 will become a 0 over here, and this becomes 10, and then it gives 1. So I'm not going to go into that detail, okay? So this becomes 10 over here. This is 10 minus 6 is 4, 9 minus 5 is 4, and 9 minus 7 is 2. So the result of this subtraction is 2.44, okay? Similarly, if you look at this one, this is a very similar kind of a question. Let me change this with the addition over here. So let's say we have to add these two. So again, there is no decimal, okay? Let me make it 0.25 so that it looks different, okay? So we have to add 0.25 with 18.3. So I'll be writing 0.25, okay? And since the decimals have to be aligned, So I'll put a decimal under the decimal. So I write 3 here, I write 8 here, I write 1 here, and you can fill in the blank spaces with the zeros. Okay, I can put a 0 over here, I can put a 0 over here. So now I add them together. This is 5 plus 0 is 5, this is 2 plus 3 is 5, this is 8, this is 1. So the sum of these two is going to be 18.55. Okay. I can see there is one more question on addition, but for that we need to learn the multiplication. Okay. So guys, in this video I have tried to tell you how to add or subtract the things in decimals. In the next video, inshallah, I'll be telling you how to multiply the decimals. Okay.